My fish fam, your Merfolk master Nikachu came home a champion. I won the NRGSeries event, of course, with Modern Merfolk upgraded with Modern Horizon 3 cards. Now, I had a league recorded, the very last practice league, right before I played the tournament. That is what we're going to look at today, but just keep in mind, I didn't have enough time to edit it and then upload it before the tournament. So we get to go look at it right now. You get basically a look at my playtesting process before I came to my finalized list. I didn't change a thing. I thought it was great. For those of you interested, I do have a sideboard guide to my NRGSeries winning list. It's on Patreon. I'll have a link to that in the description below. So I hope you enjoy. My fish fam, it's Nikachu, Merfolk Master, and let's take a look at my updated version of Modern Merfolk in the new Modern Horizons 3 metagame. I have now binged, played, tested this format for a week, and I'm still not certain about everything. That's why you see like a lot of 3-ofs in this deck. We got 3 of Force Negation, 3 of Harbinger of the Seas, 3 of Svaelun, 3 of Subtlety, Tishana's Tidebinder, Harbinger of the Tide, Spreading Seas, Flare of Denial. So a lot of 3-drops because the metagame still hasn't settled. There are some pretty known decks that are going to, definitely be part of the metagame, but like it's still relatively unpredictable. Maybe the Pro Tour is going to shake things up, or may either shake things up or even consolidate the metagame to a certain point. A lot of people are still experimenting, so it's like really blown open. So I can never be certain that I want to go all in 4x of this card or be 4x of that card, because then you have to kick some other cards out. I play tested a lot of different versions of Merfolk. I tried versions with like Flame of Anor. So here's this build with Flame of Anor and Lightning Bolt, which I think did pretty well. So the thing is, with my playtesting, almost everything felt great and bad at the same time. Like there was advantages and disadvantages. The Bolt, like the Flame of Anor version, very good on card advantage, very good at killing a lot of creatures, but like doesn't always beat Nadu. So Nadu, big deck right now, 4 toughness. Lightning Bolt doesn't do it. Doesn't do it well enough. If you're on the draw with your Lightning Bolt or your Flare of Denial, sorry, not Flare, Flame of Anor, it's not going to do it. But Dismember still, trusty Dismember will always be there for you against Nadu and a lot of other creature combo decks. And apparently, Amulet Titan, according to the stats on MTG Goldfish and MTG like modern challenges, Yawgmoth's still up there, Living End still up there, Amulet Titan still up there. I don't play against any of this stuff. Like in the leagues, I'm playing against just like Ruby, Storm, Nadu, and Scam. It's just tons of that. And for that reason, I don't even know what my correct split is. I think Subtlety in the main is better than Flare of Denial or Force of Negation versus Scam, but Scam is a pretty terrible map. I really couldn't get a big edge versus Scam, and hence why you see these weird cards, Spreading Seas and Harbinger of the Tides. Why would you want Spreading Seas in a deck that was already playing Tide Shaper and Harbinger of the Seas? Well, neither of these cards are pretty reliable versus Scam. They can they can definitely Thoughtseize the cards out, but let's say they don't Thoughtseize the card out. If they play, we may not always get Harbinger of the Seas out on turn 3, and if our opponent plays Urza Saga turn 2 in the Mono Black Scam deck, which, by the way, this card sucks versus Mono Black Scam because it can only hit Urza Saga. But if they play Urza Saga on turn 2 and you play Tide Shaper, they can Bowmaster in response and you don't kill the Urza Saga. So Spreading Seas is a reliable way to hit the Urza Saga versus them. Not to mention, even against Rakdos Scam, you are definitely going to get Island Walk when you play Spreading Seas, and that's the difference between winning and losing a lot of matches for me. And being able to tempo them out with Harbinger of the Tides, I think, is also going to be pretty critical versus exactly Scam. These 6 cards are only for Scam. I play against so much Scam. It's like 30 to 40% of the metagame for me is Scam. And so it's definitely a deck to beat in all its various forms. The only decks I consistently beat were Dimir Scam. But anyway, let's try to play a Modern League with this deck. When the die roll, the hand is fine. We're going to keep it. Probably going to run out Tide Shaper for nothing on turn 1 just because it's pretty mana efficient. Gives our Svaelun indestructible by turn 3, and maybe it's useful with Hexcatcher versus the right deck. Opponent plays Gemstone Caverns. What could this mean? The Devourer of Destiny. Okay, well, that only means one thing. Eldrazi. Which means, do I still want to play the Tide Shaper on turn 1? Tide Shaper turn 1. If they go like Soul Land next turn, they'll play a 3-drop. Then I play like a Lord. Oh, this is tough. This is tough. They got rid of a World Breaker. They're that confident. This Devouring card also appears in Tron, like regular Tron. So don't be confused. But I don't think Gemstone Caverns is played in regular Tron. Tide Shaper. I'm gonna wait. Tide Shaper is just a little too good in this matchup. Both for nailing a soul land, but also giving you Island Walk. And if they thought not me on turn 3, whatever, they can take my they're either gonna take my Svelun or my Lord, and I'd rather, well, whatever. They can take whatever they want. It would be ideal to play Tide Shaper right now, though. I mean, on turn 1, doesn't feel like the right deck for it, though. So our opponent at upkeep is gonna get this Devourer of Destiny. This is literally what's it called? Once Upon a Time. At the beginning of your first upkeep, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may put one of those cards back on top of your library, exile the rest. I mean, I guess Once Upon a Time wasn't card advantage, I guess. But this is free. This is again 0 mana. This better be well, actually, if this is Tron, but I don't think Tron's playing Ancient Stirrings. Okay, I think this is just red green Eldrazi. I think it's just red green Eldrazi. Has to be red green Eldrazi. I guess it doesn't have to be anything. We got the Sowing Mycospawn, 4 mana, kicker of 2. When you cast this spell, search your library for a land card, put onto the battlefield, then shuffle. When you cast this spell, if it was kicked, exile target land. Well, that's annoying. Add colorless. If Gemstone Caverns has luck on it, counter on it. Instead, add 1 mana of any color. So it's actually better for me to Tide Shaper the Wastes. How unusual. Well, yeah, I think that's just what we're going to do. We're going to Tide Shaper this Wastes. They're going to play a Soul Land next turn. Alternatively, I could pass the turn with Hexcatcher, because if they've got Dismember here, that would also suck. And Hexcat, but like, feels like a low upside play. So they're going to play Ugin's Labyrinth. I suspect they're going to play Thought Not Seer. So either they take my Island Walk Lord, or they take a Svelun. I'll play the other one. I mean, I have 2. Oh, 1 ring! All right, you got a 1 ring. All right, we gotta go fast. Gotta go fast before they go crazy. Ether Vial, so useless right now. I think if I'm gonna play one thing this turn, I'd rather play Svelun. Here at 1, 2, 3. You always have to be concerned about All Is Dust. All Is Dust is a beating. So they're not even if they play a Soul Land next turn, like Eldrazi Temple or another Ugin's Labyrinth, they're not at All Is Dust mana yet. And it would be ideal. I don't know what they play, but they play something, and the next turn we can play Lord of Atlantis and Vidalian Hexcatcher to potentially do a lot of damage. We get in for 9 damage, but also be prepared for an All Is Dust, which is one of the more concerning things from this type of deck. Not to mention, like, this is pretty concerning too. I mean, when you cast the spell, exile target permanent that's 1 or more colors, that's pretty annoying. Not gonna lie. It's gonna be another 1 ring. Oh, and did I attack for nothing? Did I literally attack for nothing? Search your library for a land card, put onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Any land? Sick. Another Ugin's Labyrinth. That's not bad. Did you kick this? I don't think so. So when you cast this spell, when you cast this spell, if it was kicked, exile target land. Oh, I see. 4 mana to ramp. That is insane. Maybe it was better that I hit this thing. That thing was their only colored source of mana. I'm a fool! 6, sure. Can have 6. 1, so they're now at 5, 6, 7. They are at 7. Damn, I can't avoid All Is Dust, though. Yeah. Okay, we're going to attack. 6, I believe. Whenever it attacks, mill 3 cards. You can put a land card from among them into your hand. As long as it's your turn, non-land permanent cards in your graveyard have retrace. Oh, so they could, like, opt to not play the ring and then replay the ring. You may cast permanent cards from your graveyard by discarding a land in addition to paying their other costs. Am I just lost here? It's sort of what I'm gathering until I can find a Dismember for this 6. Yeah, maybe I'm lost. They're going to draw 3. Oh, sorry, no, they can't get rid of this. But they can loop it. If they have another 1 ring, they'll just keep looping the damn thing. So I guess that's the idea. So that's the deal. It's hard playing in this metagame right now. I don't know what to expect from all these decks. I was looking at deck lists this morning, but I didn't get to the point to look deeply at the red-green Eldrazi deck. And this deck looks, I think it looks different from the other decks that I saw. They were just trying to ramp with the Talisman, but maybe it's the same thing. Don't All Is Dust. Don't do it. There's a lot of bad things my opponent can do to me. I'll be very happy if they go Thought Not Seer, though. Or maybe not. They could be playing Thought Not Seer with the intention of going big with something else, too. Whatever you do, tap 3 to 4 mana for whatever you want to do. And I'm fine with that. Okay, there's a Thought Knot. Okay, so the best thing they can do is play a 5-mana spell. And unfortunately for them, these are all lords. This is all bad news here. Bad news bears. But I guess they could play another One Ring here. That might be the idea. And if they played Thought Knot first, they can get Force Negation or Flare of Denial out of my hand. Or, some sort of interaction. Okay, so the One Ring is still pretty dangerous. But I guess if they had it, they would have Windmill Slammed it on me, because they have nothing else to do with their turn here. Windmill Slam. These decks are actually way tougher than I would like them to be. I mean, there is a lot of similarities between this and basically Legacy Eldrazi, which existed a long time ago. What do you have? Do you have the One Ring? Or is it another Thought Knots here? Or is it like this Sowing Miko Spawn thing? Can you destroy your own land if it was exile? Oh, you can exile your own land. Yeah, you can exile the Wastes. And then the best I can do is just send in a huge team of dummies. Oh, this also works. The Kozilek's Command. Commanding my opponent. So if we can deal, we just need to get 6 damage across. I don't know how we do that at this point. 6 damage, and our opponent just dies to their own One Ring. Well, we drew another Lord of Atlantis, which means bad things. Okay, so they still have these Devourer of Destiny things. Well, I mean, there's still a chance that our opponent just dies to their own One Ring if they can't find another One Ring. It's like One Ring or bust. I guess we're just going to attack with just this. I can't push any damage. We'll just attack with Svaelun, see what we draw. If it's an Island Walker, we'll just stuff it in our hand. There's not an Island Walker. They will chump block, probably. Maybe, hopefully. And then maybe I just play Cavernous Souls Pass. They're going to chump block with their mana. Dockhand can tap down when they'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we'll play this on Merfolk. We'll play a Vial. We'll have Hexcatcher up if we need to. And we will siphon our opponent's mana a little bit. First, tap this. I think we have one unknown card in our hand, the Lord of Atlantis. Something that they don't know about. Okay, they put the Devourer is back. Okay, they're at 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can only exile the Svaelun because they only have enough mana to play the Devourer, and then they can't pay the ward. So if they exile anything, it has to be Svaelun. Things are getting iffy. They play another Ugin's Labyrinth, which doesn't seem to slow them down at all. But still, we need to just push some damage. We want a top deck. We have a lot of draws. Tideshaper, Harbinger of the Seas, which is, I guess, we have 3 copies of each left in the deck. I guess this is just a different deck that I'm familiar with. This is just like a mono green Eldrazi. So they're playing 6 to loop the One Rings. They're using Sowing Miko Spawn for ramp and I guess land destruction. Probably good in the mirror. Probably very good in the mirror. You want to attack? Come at me. Okay, we got our player Hexcatcher at end of turn. They're holding up a lot of mana. I guess they have another Kozilek's Command. So they have to be very careful. Well, I guess, like, what are they going to do? Play it for 3? 1, 2, 3 on Svaelun. They have 3 mana up. It shouldn't be a problem for them. No big deal. I am definitely on the One Ring kills them plan. That's my plan. You going to counter this? Oh, can you counter things? That'd be terrible. It looks like something's getting played in response. I just hope it doesn't counter my Hexcatcher because I have Cavernous Souls up. Holy crap. Can you gain life? What in tarnation is what is going on here? You have instant speed Eldrazi. Okay, here's the Kozilek's Command for 6. Create 6 mana. Exile target creature. Okay. Fine. Okay. Come on, Tideshaper. They might have another Kozilek's Command as well. I guess that also plays around something. Okay. Let's go. That's not what I wanted. That was terrible. So if I play both lords, attack with everything. It's hard to see the power. I don't know if anyone else has this problem. Look how the power and toughness is on Magic Online. It's like a 3/4 and it's blue. Like that's not very good against the blue cards. I don't know when that was changed, but like it's really hard to see the power and toughness on my creatures and sometimes on other creatures. It should just have a black well, I guess it's not a black background though. It should be defined by black. So anyway, this is a 3/3, a 3/4, a 2/2 if I play both lords, 5/5, 5/6. I can definitely not get through though. It's impossible. Again, I'm like pretty dependent on my opponent like just killing themselves with the One Ring. I'm just gonna dump my hand, and I hope our opponent cannot find another One Ring. It's just, that's basically my plan. Will I attack with something? I can attack with... I think I can attack freely with this. These are all 0-1s. They don't want to block with 6 or the Thought Knot. I guess I could attack with Hexcatcher, but it's not bad. Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa! What's going on here? I did not expect that. I will absolutely kill your Thought Knot. That draws me a card. Why would you want to give me a card? That card might kill you. That one won't do it, but whatever. Okay, so, oh, it's a permanent, though. I'm gonna bring it back. I have fallen straight into my opponent's trap. Okay, let's tap this Ugin's Labyrinth. They all have Devour of Destiny underneath, which they can play at any moment. And they have a lot of mana, too. They have infinite mana to do whatever they want. Did not tap. I guess it's no point to doing it. Okay, do you have One Ring? One Ring I lose. Probably. It is very unlikely that my Hexcatcher is going to do anything here. What is this? Okay, it's a lot of mana, which is good. That means it's not the One Ring. I'm surprised they didn't play Kozilek's Command and Scryed a bunch. Second round return. When you cast the spell, exile target artifact and channel. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Wish I could counter that. Alright, they had a plan. But we also have a plan still. It's still live. Top deck Tide Shaper. Okay, here comes the Thought Knot Seer. Thought Knot's coming back to eat up the card that I just drew. So I guess this exchange was not what I thought it was gonna be. Oh, it's gonna be more. More! 7 mana. Here's the Devour. Okay, that's fine. It's gonna come down to like Island Walker or bust. Nothing else matters. It's funny, we could almost go wide. Would a Dismember help? Dismember wins too. I could kill out. No, it doesn't. Sorry, I only have 3 attackers. It's really close. It's surprisingly close. So they don't have another One Ring though. Oh no, but it's in the graveyard. No, it's exiled. That's awkward. They played the Devour of Secrets. They exiled my lord. All right, what do we got here? Can we top deck an Island Walker? Sorry, Island Walk Enabler. That is not Island Walk enabling at all. That is terrible. Okay, we're just gonna pass the turn, tap down this Ugin's thing again. We're still in it. They're not close to killing us. And it's still doing something, even though they return this Devour of Destiny back to their hand. You attack. No, it doesn't do anything when it attacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so they can cast that thing still. Not a big deal. I still have another Island Walker in my hand. So if they tap out to do that, it gives us another draw. I want to say we are favored to win this game, but we're just not winning it. Creature type Elrazi. You're gonna make it uncounterable, huh? Well, it's useless versus Subtlety, but I don't have Subtlety in my main deck, unfortunately. Another Devour of Destiny. I've been expecting you. Yeah, that thing's gone. Okay, I think we have one more turn. That's it. It's one more turn or bust. Don't get too excited. If I had Trickster in my hand, you'd be dead. That's right. That's right. You play patiently. Just attack for 6. Gotta wait till the coast is clear around here. Tide Shaper? Tide Shaper? I don't even know if... this might be a blunder, actually. I shouldn't play this. It exposes it to another Devour of Destiny card, although I think this is the turn where I need to draw it or we're dead. Island Walker! No! It is an Island Walker, but is not what I want. Pass the turn again. Okay, maybe we get one more turn. Because I can, like, double block. I can at least single block. But maybe I can double block and live to tell a tale. We only need one Merfolk that doesn't have Summoning Sickness. And I forgot to tap something. Well, I don't know if I can afford to tap something. Or maybe, yeah, I can afford to tap something. What is this? You're going to exile my Vial? Yeah, Vial is worse these days because of this. Do I need to play this Lord? We'll play the Lord. Because I just need one creature in play anyway. Like, if I top deck Tide Shaper, I don't need this. So actually, no, I'm playing around Thought Knot Seer, which is in the graveyard, which can be brought back through, what's it called? 6. Yeah, non-land permanents in your graveyard have retrace, so they eat up that thing. They could try to replay their Thought Knot Seer, so putting this on the battlefield is not a bad idea. Colorless Eldrazi spells online. Was this going to be all his dust? What was this one going to be? It's a lot of mana. It's a lot of mana. Another Devoured. No, it's World Breaker. I'm going to exile that land. Well, do you know what? I'm going to float some mana in response. Okay, so how much is this? This is 8. I can double block. Yeah, I have blocks that I can make. Still don't know what's in my hand. Could be anything. If you do that, I definitely will block. This is a 5/7. You have well, you could have Dismember, but you can't play it. So I can kill something. I can kill this thing. This is a 4/4. This is a 4/4. This is a 3/3. I guess I can double block this. You can kill only one Lord. Take 12. Go to 2. This works, right? There's no shenanigans here, right? There not be any shenanigans. I don't want any trouble here. Take 6, go to 2. We'll both be at 2. All right. Okay. One more time. Tide Shaper or Harbinger of the Seas. I don't think that does it. I don't mind top decking this sometimes, but this doesn't do it for me. What are my options here? I think our options are pass the turn and then, I don't know, bounce something and then die. Yeah, I think that's the end of the road for this game. Hell of a game one, that's for sure. Sadly, our opponent is in absolutely no position to not attack. They have no reason to fear anything. So they will freely attack for maximum damage now. You want to know what's in my hand, huh? Thought not here. Okay, this is interesting. So it'll enter the battlefield. I can bounce it in response, and maybe I can find a flash speed creature like Hexcatcher or Merfolk Trickster, which would maybe buy me a turn, because then I can tap a Devour of something. Devour of Destiny. Trickster? Okay, we're going to draw a card. Ooh, it was a flash speed creature, but does it make my stuff big enough to chump block and live? Maybe. But I'm at 2. This is impossible. Yeah, even if I had Trickster, would it work? Nah, I don't think it would work. So my opponent still has 6 attackers over my stuff. Okay, we done here. We done. Okay, what do we want? We want definitely Dismember. We definitely want Subtlety. We definitely want Tishana. I think Tishana's Tidebinder is also good. I think Harbinger should be good. Trickster should be good. Oh man, I want to bring in everything, but everything can't be good. I think Hexcatcher is actually going to be... I think it's going to be poor. I could be wrong. They're an awkward amount of really chunky, expensive stuff, and also a balance of harsh spells you want to counter, like All is Dust, and All is Dust only needs to be 7 mana. I don't really want these counter spells. I don't really want a 2-for-1 my board presence on the board. Do I need Dismember? Dismember kills Thought-Knots here. It kills a lot of stuff, but they also get a lot of value. Maybe I'll shave some Vials, because they are vulnerable to a lot of their interaction. Might be overvaluing Tishana's Tidebinder, but there's a lot of triggered abilities to hit with it. Yeah, I think when it comes to something like the One Ring, I'm going to rely on Tishana's Tidebinder. Maybe I don't need so many Spheloons. I'm going to rely on all these tempo creatures. But this could be wrong, especially on the play. Harbinger is not that great on the play. Maybe I'll take out Harbinger on the play, bring it back in on the draw. I'm going to rely on stuff like Subtlety, which is a little awkward. So we're going to bring in some more powerful cards like Spheloon and maybe a few Hexcatchers, just to like increase the beef in this deck. This is unplayable hand. Mulligan. This is also bad. 1 lander? No, I can't keep this. All right, well, I guess we're meant to lose this game. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to dump... I guess this is just the most expensive cards. These are all expensive cards. But you know what? Okay, I'm going to get rid of Subtlety. I'm going to get rid of Lord of Atlantis. And I'm just going to hope that we curve out into our Spheloon. Like, Spheloon is the type of card that can help get us back in this situation. And also, Harbinger of the Seas has the biggest upside of stalling our opponent. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And Hexcatcher hopefully can just interact with something to slow them down. Like if they play the One Ring or something. A pretty terrible hand, though. Pretty miserable. Like, my plan is just stall the game until we can slam this thing on the battlefield and then carry out the rest of the game with Spheloon. And hopefully they don't have a basic wastes to save them. What does this do? What's the backside? The Drowner of Truth. It's got Devoid. It's a 7/6. All right. Land? Not land. I wonder, can I go to 4? With Harbinger of the Seas in the deck? It's a pretty big card. Like, it really shuts this stuff off. I'm almost hoping our opponent plays like a Thought-Knot Seer. Ugh, do I counter this? Tax me milk. Okay, yeah, I think I'm just going to counter this. Sorry, I'm going to dismember it. Come on, land. Land, and they play Vial. I'm sorry, not Vial. They play One Ring, no. Some games you're just meant to lose. Our chance to win was last game. We had a lot of chances. A lot. Yeah, there we go. That would have been perfect. If we draw that land on turn 2 and Hexcatcher, that would have been perfect. Probably would have buy us a lot of turns. Instead, we're helpless. Yeah, right on time. Thank you very much, deck. That was right on time. Okay, if they don't play a Wastes, maybe we're still in it. I mean, they could have Dismember in hand. They definitely play Dismember in this deck. 100 billion%. Sure, you can have Ancient Stirrings. They play another Eldrazi Temple. And they pass, and that's when I play, I guess, Trickster. Or maybe Hexcatcher is better, because if my opponent plays a creature, it would be better to flash in Trickster just to tap it. They have access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a lot of mana. They have access to a lot of manas right now. A lot of manas. Definitely going to be I mean, but this hand is hopeless. Like, we need it to curve out. The deck has 21 lands and 4 vials, for crying out loud. It didn't help that we mulliganed to 5. They're going to dismember my poor little trickster here. Oh, they're going to play the command. I'll counter it. And we play our Hexcatcher versus the Kozilek's. The Kozilek's command. Not to be mistaken with Kolaghan's command, which sounds insanely similar. This card is just an all-around bomb. It's not even that expensive for these decks. It's like literally just 2 mana and then like whatever the hell you want. Incredibly flexible. All right, there. They play the Ugin's Labyrinth, the tapping a lot of mana. What's it gonna be, opponent? I still think we can come back from this. If this is, okay, not from Worldbreaker. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. They did the right thing. They blew up our land. That's the right thing to do. Okay, I'm just gonna give it to them. We're gonna move on to round 2. Thank you very much, opponents. Good games. We lost the die roll. Hand is okay. We'll keep it. A little suspicious about these types of hands because I don't like to look at Sink into the Stupor like it is a spell. I look at it more of it is a land, and so effectively this is a 5 mana hand. But fortunately, one of our lands are Mutavault. One of the lands are Ether Vial, so hopefully we draw well. And also, I would say Sink into Stupor is better when you have a Vial, significantly better. So how are we going to start? We're going to start with... There is a chance I attack with Mutavault turn 2. It's actually a very good chance. But what if they kill my Vial? They probably won't do that. Would they do that to me? To me? If they do that, I could still play Dockhand on turn 2. Okay. So there's some chance I can attack with Mutavault turn 2, because I want to use my Vial to put my Master of the Pearl Trident in play. Preordain. We are up probably against Izzet Wizards. I've seen a lot of Izzet Wizard decks playing with Tamiyo. They have a lot of playables now. Now, I said that we could attack with Mutavault, but I didn't say I was definitely going to. And in this case, we are just going to opt to do nothing and just pass. Like, and here, and even in this situation, I don't even want to play my Master of the Pearl Trident. That would be such a silly thing to do. Now, I will say, the one deck that Harbinger of the Seas is actually really good against is actually these Izzet decks. They, I don't know if they've adapted yet, but a lot of them don't even have a basic mountain in their deck. So like when you play Harbinger of the Seas, they just lose instantly. So we are going to be playing very patiently until we can position ourselves to get this Harbinger of the Seas online. Like I'll definitely tick this Vial up to 2 to 3, and then usually they're lost. Ooh, Svaeloon's great too. So we do also have the option to Vial in the Svaeloon. I'm not going to play anything here. I think it's better to hold up Flare of Denial and also Sink into Stupor, especially if our opponent like plays something chunky, like a Planeswalker or something. Usually these decks are pretty mana efficient though. Is this worth killing? Are they going to get their basic mountain? No basic amount. They go for the Thundering Falls. So I don't want to play the Harbinger of the Seas right now. You don't want to like just send it in there into open mana. They're just going to float red mana and then kill it with a Galvanic Blast thing or a Lightning Bolt. It's not worth it at all. So you just hold back. You be careful. I understand I have the Flare of Denial. I got this creature. Let's be patient. They also had the fetch land also, so they can just fetch a basic mountain. So I think that's all insane. We are going to send in Master of the Pearl Trident. Now, is this worthy of your Lightning Bolt? Apparently it is. They're also probably playing with Murktide, which we can Flare of Denial. So we're going to take this up to 3, which should make them incredibly paranoid. We'll attack for 1. Do I attack for 1? Hold on, maybe I will do nothing. No, I'll still attack for 1 because I have Flare of Denial in my hand. I can't tap out. Because I could tap a land, Vial at their upkeep, make them float a mana, then they go to their turn. Maybe I'll do this at their upkeep instead of end of turn. And if they float a mana, I will just... Oh man, we are definitely positioning this thing in play. How to get this thing? Okay, I'm just going to pass. It's okay. Pass, we're just going to end of turn it. They'll float a mana, we'll play our Svaeloon, it'll be quite the surprise. What are you going to do, opponent? You just passed your turn. Oh, you just let me play it, huh? Game over! Yeah, this usually is GG. Are they thinking about just resigning right here? They should. Be a good idea. And now just for some extra protection, we have another Sink into Stupor. So just for extra protection, like against Otawara, we'll put our Svaeloon in play right now. We're only going to attack with Rishta and Dockhand. I mean, I guess I could attack with both. If they got Snapcaster Mage, there's no way they can I mean, unless they have Force Negation. Okay, I'll just be careful. They definitely have Snapcaster Mage in their deck. And now we have got all this interaction here. This is like impossible for our opponent to win. Impossible. They're going to try to aggressively get a Murktide in play. But then we'll just, oh, they decide to resign. That's it. Okay, cards that we want. They do have Murktide. They'll have Tamiyo. So Harbinger is not terrible. So I mean, Harbinger of the Tides is not terrible. We're definitely going to keep Harbinger of the Seas in this deck. What else do they have? I think playing at flash speed is also good with Tishana's Tidebinder. I don't really like Flare. Okay, I don't like the Dismembers that much. Hitting Tamiyo is nice. I don't think it's mandatory though. There's room to like eat it up with a Trickster, but I definitely want the Tishana's Tidebinder that interacts with Snapcaster Mage, and it's just a convenient flash thing to do by turn 3. I actually don't like any of these counter spells. I don't really want any of these counter spells. Is there anything else I want to hit? Okay, I probably want Harbinger for Murktide and Tamiyo. I know we didn't see any of them, but generally speaking, when I play against blue-red, they got those cards. They might even have their own Tishana's Tidebinder. Yeah, I guess it's a big difference. If they've got Tishana's Tidebinder and Tamiyo, I probably want the Dismembers. Maybe we'll keep some Dismembers as a hedge. I mean, at the worst case scenario, we'll eat a... Well, they have to have Tamiyo. I mean, Tamiyo... Like, my experience versus Tamiyo is if the game goes long, Tamiyo's good. If the game doesn't go long, then Tamiyo's bad. So the opponent doesn't have a whole lot of time to be drawing cards from it. I don't want a 2-for-1 myself in this matchup. Yeah, let's just not 2-for-1 ourselves. Let's bring in more cards. Let's bring in Subtlety. That's fine. We'll just send it. Sending in a lot of creatures is good enough for me. This is not a 1-lander. This is literally a mana source. We're going to keep it. We can go turn 1 Tide. We're on the draw, so we're relatively likely to draw a land the first few turns. And if not, playing a Tide Shaper is okay. There's the Tamiyo. There it is. I told you. Told you they have Tamiyo in this deck. Did you believe me? You should have believed me. Ooh, a Vial on turn 1. That's not bad either. Actually, Vial works very well with this deck. I also should say Tishana's Tidebinder also shuts off the Tamiyo. So they can't even draw their clue token this turn because they're putting this Thundering Falls onto the battlefield. Which also probably means their hand is very threat dense. I think they're insane. If they have an untapped mana source, they definitely would have played it. Can we tick our Vial up? Play Sink into Super tapped because I cannot make use of this mana right now. I don't intend to. I only have 3 Mutavaults, but again, Mutavault's still choking us on mana, even in 2024. I never found that Tamiyo flipping was a big deal either, so if they want to flip, they can flip. We can usually... Maybe in this spot, it's pretty good. So if they draw again, flip Tamiyo, return a card, they're not going to do it. Okay, we're going to play a Tide Shaper. Our hand is not bad, even for a hand that can only play these lords. What are you considering, opponent? I tell you what you should be considering. You should consider fetching with this Misty Rainforest. If I draw a land and play it, you're going to be in for a world of hurt. Land? I've punished so many people. I always get a land here. I've punished. Punished! They're going to be punished. Be prepared for the punishment. You're not going to like it. I'm going to like it, though. All right, we just pass. They're not playing removal, so I'm not doing anything either. I don't have to do anything. All right, do you have a counterspell for this? They might. They might have Stern Scolding or something. But there's huge upside to this if you eat up their land. Okay, they got the Stern Scolding. Do you have a counterspell? Oh, Dress Down. That's fair. Shut everything off. That is fair. Again, they get Thundering Falls. Now, hey, it's very important to understand that Harbinger of the Seas is not shut off by Dress Down. For the dumbest reasons. For the same dumb reasons, Merfolk Trickster doesn't turn off the land ability of Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Even if you... Oh, this can find a basic mountain. Is it going to find a basic mountain, though? Is it going to do it? But the thing, I looked at a lot of lists. A lot of them don't even have a basic mountain. They just don't. Because why would you need it? Ha! Shut off your own Tamiyo. That's bad synergy. Okay, now they got to sacrifice their Dress Down. We'll put a Lord in play. Continue to add pressure to the board. If they go Bolt, Snap, Bolt, okay. Then they just leave themselves completely open to Harbinger of the Seas next turn. We're going to tick up to 3. But again, I'm not going to force anything. We're just going to play it patiently. Ooh, we now have Tide Shaper just in case they do have that Bolt. Yeah, let's just send in the team here. And by team, I mean these guys. How absolute dare you? Oh, at least I can look. They go for the look at that. We got everything here. We got Subtlety for this. If you don't, you're screwed. You screwed, opponent. You screwed up. Just kidding. It was hard to play around. Yeah, Flame of... Okay, so they definitely have Tishana's Tidebinder in their deck. And I have for you the bad news. Start drawing them cards and draw them fast. And we still have Island Walkers in hand. I'll just keep this thing on defense, though. so we don't get completely screwed. So now, I don't know what they have in the... I don't think they've got Murktide and Wizards. I think it's just like Flame of Anor, Snapcaster Mage. What else do they have? All that good stuff. Yeah, you can start drawing cards. You get working on it. You want to flip it now? You can return target instant card or instant or sorcery card, so you can't even get your dress down back. Not that it would matter. Lord? Do I get punished in any way for attacking with everything? I don't think so. 11, yeah, this is lethal. Okay, you're gonna draw a card. Oh, I definitely don't get punished now. You wanna flip your Tameo? Well, you can't flip it. That was only the second card this turn, and we win the match. All right, that was round 2. Actually, it's funny. Harbinger of the Seas, way better versus blue decks than any other deck. I can't explain it to you all. I mean, I knew it was going to be useful, but it's actually just the most useful. Every other deck plays a ton of basics because they've already been preparing for Blood Moon, whereas, I don't know, these decks just aren't used to getting blue mooned themselves. Okay, that was round 2. Let's go to round 3. All right, we won the die roll. We're up against Aspiring Spike, and our hand is great. They're up. We have Gigantha. Does that mean they're on Prowess? I hope it's Boros Energy. Although, at the same time, I'm also hoping it's not Boros Energy. Okay, we're going to keep this. We have a decent curve, though. We can go curve Dockhand into Lord of Atlantis. Or Dockhand maybe even into Tideshaper. Into Svelune. Ragavan, you say. Now, do I go Tideshaper? I definitely want to play Svelune on turn whatever. So if I play Tideshaper and they play another red source, or he plays another red source, kills Tideshaper, that would really suck. Would you be willing to attack into my mana here? I got 2 mana, Aspiring Spike. You want to attack into that? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Do you know what? Either way, I think I'm going to go for the higher upside play of playing this Tideshaper here. Definitely lock down your red mana. And then if you want to attack into this Dockhand, you go for it. I'm going to block, because I really don't want you to get too much mana here. That always sucks. Okay, we're going to have a trade. A little tradesies. Hopefully that's a 1-lander. It is not a 1-lander. Okay, this thing dies. Dragon Rage. Looks like some sort of... Yeah, it looks like Prowess, which I'm not thrilled about. But you know what? We've got... Actually, what do we got? How do I want to do this? Maybe play... No, this is just the most mana efficient thing to do. I was thinking, like, why don't we play 2 Lords here and then play Svelune next turn? But I can't play 2 Lords here. That's impossible. So, I mean, Svelune can die to... Lightning Bolt plus something else. Ruby Medallion. Okay, red spells will be cheaper. What red spells are you trying to play, Mr. Spike? I kept a card on top. How more mana efficient do you need to be with a Prowess deck? How much more mana efficient do you need to be? Well, we'll start here. Okay, attack for 4. Sink into Stupor is like whatever. I have no idea what I'm up against. Is this Storm? I could play the Hexcatcher and get in a singular point of damage. Go to 5. I play Lord. That would be 6. 6, 11. It'd be overkill, so it's not necessary. I'm just going to hold up the mana. Make Spike paranoid. Seek the Beast for 1 mana. Alright, maybe it's just a really efficient, mana-efficient Prowess deck. Okay, Seek the Beast resolves. Oh, you can play the Raptor for 1 mana. Fancy. Very fancy. But you can't play the Questing Druid for 1 mana. That's going to have to pay full retail for that one, Spike. Okay, here's the Raptor. Galvanic Discharge. Targeting, I guess, Lord of Atlantis. It's going to tax you for 1. Why are you targeting my Svelune? Are you targeting both? Okay, so this will tax you. What is going on here? Okay, we're going to let the Surveil happen. All this is done. I don't understand the sequencing of all this. Okay, so Bolt is going to hit Lord of Atlantis. I think what we're going to do is... Hold on, this is for 5. I have 5 toughness. You can at most get 3 out of this? That's so annoying. Okay, well, I'm definitely going to play our Hexcatcher here. There's nothing in the graveyard that concerns me. So Bolt will definitely kill this. I'm just wondering how... I guess we have to just counter this Galvanic Discharge with the Lord of Atlantis. Lord of Atlantis cannot be saved. I'm just preventing them from getting energy. Like, this Svelune won't die, but that's not the point. Hopefully there's no... what's it called? Oh, no, actually, if there's a Lava Dart on top, it can't kill my Hexcatcher. Not yet, at least. Okay, now you have to attack with your Dragon Rage Chandler. I take 3, and I will attack with my Master of the Pearl Trident. Ooh, Sink into Stupor. Well, now we're going to activate the Mutavault. I can't attack with everything, because they can block... Sorry, Spike can block this. Has first strike, it will die instantly. So I'm just going to attack with these two things I can definitely attack with. We get a Dismember, which is going to be insanely painful. insanely painful. I think I'm going to take 3, though, just from the Sink into Stupor, just to protect my Sveilun. Because just in case they try to kill off, like, one thing into another, I'll just take 3. I don't know. That might be insane. I also have the option to, like, just Dismember this Dragon Rage Chandler. What do we got here? Nothing particularly important in the graveyard. Okay, we have Manamorphose. Maybe I should just kill this thing off. What am I doing? I don't want you to sculpt your deck. What do they put in their graveyard? Put Arid Mesa. Underworld Breach! Well, I couldn't do anything about that anyway. Okay, so now what happens? Sack. I'm dead. That's what happens here. Could not beat the Underworld Breach. Certainly an interesting game until that happened. So what's going to start here? Manamorpho. Okay, Dragon Rage Chandler happens. I guess they got to be careful. I mean, it doesn't have... there's no loop here or anything like that, so you got to be careful. Metamorphose can... Dragon Rage Chandler can feed this a little bit. You have Unstable Amulet, Amped Raptor, Lightning Bolt. It's close. Chandler feeds this engine a lot. Put another Underworld Breach in the graveyard. I am glad I killed off one. I mean, it would have been better if I got rid of the thing on my turn. Okay, I guess they're just going to try to feed the graveyard with this. Oh, they did not. Put a card on top. With the Commercial District. I cannot interact with Manamorphose. Okay, they're going to draw a card that they want here. Another Manamorphose. There we go. Feed the graveyard. Feed the Breach. The Breach is hungry. Very hungry. So, like, worst case scenario, if somehow... I mean, I'm more concerned about just dying this turn, because it's possible. But let's say a bunch of stuff dies here. I mean, in this spot... No, it wouldn't work. But there is a world where I can Sink into Stupor, bounce a creature, and then just attack in with a few stuff. Unstable Amulet, I don't like that at all. Surveil, yeah. This Dragon Rage Chandler is just a beating. Okay, kept a card on top. So I guess a card that they're going to find with the Unstable Amulet. I still have 4 mana up, unfortunately. Another Questing Druid. Play Seek the Beast. I think I'm going to auto-yield to that one. What I would really like to do is just sack everything in play. I would love to do that. Okay, what 2 cards were found? Galvanic Discharge, which is going to target... what was it going to target? No, that was one of the cards. Okay, we have a second Dragon Rage Chandler, which is terrible! Okay, now we're getting to a point where between the Dragon Rage Chandlers and Mishra's Baubles, does this loop infinitely? If I counter everything here, counter, I have just a Mutavault in play and no Island Walk. Is this a loop? Have we reached looping territory? Or is it very close? I think it's very close. Or, I mean, I get a sense that I'm effectively lost here. All right, all this stuff triggers. Okay, counter, you have no more mana. I have a Sveilun in play, and that's it. Okay, I think we have to make a move here. This is our time to make a move. If we make a move at all. And then I think I have to bounce the stupid Questing Druid with our Sink into Stupor. Dragon Rage Chandler. Can Dragon Rage Chandler become a 3/3? No, not yet. Okay, so how many cards can be drawn here? A lot. Okay, now I'm just going to F6. Do as you wish, Inspiring Timmy. The only rough thing about this metagame is this is a bad matchup, and I was lucky to get this far in the game. We're on turn 5 and and almost presenting lethal. The only thing that's terrible about this matchup, the only thing terrible about this metagame is scam. I don't like the scam matchup, and I don't like this matchup. These are all terrible, terrible matchups. Okay, 2 cards are going to be drawn here. But how many cards am I going to draw? Well, then. I could bounce, attack with the Mutavault and Sveilun. No, that doesn't do anything. Doesn't threaten lethal either. So actually, there's no reason to block. Just trying to figure out if there's any other way to develop my board. I could play Lord, attack, just to draw a card, and then maybe decide on my Sink into Stupor. Although if blocks, I have to activate this Mutavault. So this Galvanic Discharge over here. I'm just trying to think, what can I draw that would help me? Harbinger of the Seas would not help me. Maybe a counterspell could help me. Only Force of Negation. Basically. Okay, I tell you what we can do. We can attack and then decide after we draw a card whether to Sink into Stupor this stupid Questing Druid. That does not change my decision very much. Well, this also feels terrible to do. Hold on, cancel. Yeah, I'm just going to do it anyway. I'm dead so many different ways. Dead 5 ways to Sunday. Okay, okay, we'll bounce this and then pray Spike only has lands in hand, lands on top of library. What else do I have to hope for? Also land off the galvanic discharge. That's also something. What else? There's a lot of lands need to be involved here. Land on top of the deck with this. Like a lot of air. Just infinite amounts of air. That is not air. So the unstable amulets are going crazy. Actually, I just die right there. There, just 2 triggers from the amulets and the lightning bolt will kill me. All right, game 1 goes to Spike. But what are you going to do about game 2 as I bring in Harbinger of the Tides, more tricksters? What else is semi-competent in this matchup? I'm going to take out Hexcatcher, who was like sort of doing something in that game, but it's just too vulnerable to Lava Dart. I don't know if there's Lava Dart in that list. It seems to be much more value-oriented. Like, how do you find room for the amulets and the ruby medallions? So something has to be taken out. But maybe the creature suite is just a little bit different too. I don't like... Okay, sorry. I don't like 2-for-1ing myself, but hitting those creatures are important. I'll take out Force of... do I take out Force of Negation? How many cards do I need? I do need to hit... Well, there's not that many breaches in the deck, though. There's only... Or I shouldn't... I don't know what's in his deck. I just know it's stock. In these mono-red decks, they usually have like 2 breaches, and that's about it. Tishana's Tidebinder doesn't do enough. It's a bit too clunky. I don't mind spreading seas too much because the red... Well, this deck's red mana is not at a premium. Okay, we're gonna... I guess we're gonna stick to all the Force of Negations. I'll side out... Tideshaper actually looks terrible. Tideshaper looks terrible enough that maybe I want to get rid of all of them. Maybe play... Would not recommend going down the strategy with the spreading seas, but... Oh, Harbinger of the Seas is terrible. Okay, that's stone cold awful. Okay, with that in mind, now we have a lot of room for stuff. All right, let's bring in 2 spreading seas and 3 subtleties. Maybe that's enough. Suddenly, I think this is more value. You know what? I don't know what's in his deck exactly. I'm gonna take out the subtle. I'm gonna take this stuff out. I am gonna bring in the hex catchers, just so I can hit the amulet. Amulet is a lot of value. Guess we'll keep 1 Tideshaper. If there's Lava Dart in this deck, I'm screwed. I usually side out Hex Catcher because of Lava Dart, but I didn't see a Lava Dart that game. Hand is awful. Keep. Hand is stone cold trash. Actually, now that I think about it, Tishana's Tidebinder does interact against his deck because of the amulet. So amulet enters the battlefield and you can eat it. There's a turn 1 Ragavan. Here's your turn 1 Dismember. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Okay, Island Pass. We're dead. His hand just turned out terrible. His hand just turned terrible. But it's a bad matchup anyway. It's just a stone cold terrible matchup. Ooh, a Lord. Who knows what I can do with that thing? Okay, fetch at end of turn, gets a commercial district, which is that surveil land. Metamorphose. Okay, you can trigger this. Put Bugbear in their graveyard. I don't like this card so... Okay, so what's the best... You know what, I'm going to just force negate this. Why not? You didn't do anything this turn. Let's get rid of cards. Let's get rid of cards. Okay, fetch out a basic mount. I guess to play around Harbinger of the Seas. Not that your deck is particularly weak to this... to that type of card. I'm going to keep Sink into Stupor for now. We'll just keep play... Oh, and do I play... No, yeah, I'll just play and pass. Again, if they play something like Amulet, I'll force negate it. Or, what's it called? Seek the Beast, also an important one. Okay, we're also gonna force this. Just keep Spike on low resources, even though I'm even lower on resources. Okay, there's the Raptor, which is nice because if, see Galvanic Discharge, there's a lot of situations where if this Raptor hits the battlefield, the value is very poor, but still get the energy anyway and got a trigger off of the Dragon Rage Chandler. Okay, attack for 1, and now next, for our next trick, we will play a Master of the Pearl Trident. Ooh! We'll still play Master of the Pearl Trident. Well, this Hexcatcher is, like, rotting away. Hexcatcher is, like, losing stock very fast. There's the Seek the Beast. See, that's what I would really like to force negate. That's the best thing to force negate. I don't know at what point that card was ever going to get played. Okay, what cards were found? Bobble and a Discharge. That sucks. Okay, cards are being put on top of Library. Which means bad news for us. Another Raptor, so I guess something great is going to be played. Or not. Put 2 energy on Timmy. What happened? Oh, it was played from exile, so it doesn't count. Okay, so we're going to let the Dragon Rage Chandler attack, which was my plan the entire time. And then it has to meet its end versus the Merfolk Trickster. It will have no choice. That's right. That's right, Spike. Only in the end do they understand. You must attack. It is written in the contract of the Dragon Rage channelers. I'm just going to single block. Again, I don't know what's in this deck, but like if they have mutagenic growth, I'd rather just kill this instead of kill my Master of the Pearl Trident. All right, now how do I attack? Because both of these have first strike. If I draw a land, I can play Hexcatcher and Sink into Stupor. Ugh, bouncing these are terrible though. It's so bad. It's bad. Yeah, 2 first strikers, not fun. All right, I guess we're playing a Dockhand and passing. Wow, is that, you look at this mana base. Harbinger of the Seas would not be bad, but that's the problem with playing Merfolk against unknown decks. You have no idea how to play against them perfectly. And especially Aspiring Spike plays Bruise. A lot of Bruise. Okay, Questing Druid resolves. Not much I can do about that. Mishra's Bauble resolves. Not a red spell. Not a red spell at all. Do you like to attack? Oh, you do? Holy moly, do you have 2 removal spells? Well, if you do, well, I'm going to play for the high upside here. Can I beat... I don't think I can beat 2. I can beat only 1. Okay, so Questing Druid gets bigger, and this is where I attempt to play my Lord. Hopefully that resolves. Oh, okay, so that's fine. Okay, so Lord dies. That's fine. That's part of the plan here. And now these things are still out of reach. So if there's another bolt, we now counter it with, I guess, Rishton Dockhand. So at least one of these raptors dies, and we take no damage. Not the greatest of exchanges, not the worst of exchanges. Oh, now we get our Island Walker. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, deck. Okay, well, I'm not blocking next turn, because the odds of that block working are basically zilch. So we'll attack. If you want to trade, go for it. I don't care. These games are actually way more even than I expected them to be. But this is not like your regular Prowess deck. This is like, I don't know, mono-red aggro-ish. But I'm surprised how like even this game is. I mean, I'm behind. I'm worse. Like I'm facing down a 2/1 first striker and a 3/3 creature. We're just doing what we got to do to survive around here. Yeah, Sink into Stupor is not going to look very good against either of these cards. Another breach. You got to be kidding me. Yeah, it resolves. Usually in this spot, I just feel like resigning. The odds I come back from it are basically nothing. Do you know what? I do feel like resigning. I've seen enough. Thanks for the games. All right, so yeah, that's how these matchups play out. It's a terrible matchup. I have nothing else to say about that. I just hope that I dodge the damn thing. Chalice of the Void can short up by a good chunk, but like still, even you play Chalice, it will increase your win rate by a lot. But even if you're on the draw, you can still get run over. And remember, they still have a bunch of 2s in their deck that can run you over as well. Okay, that's round 3. Let's go to round 4. Here for round 4, we have a 1-lander on the play. This is unplayable. I'm gonna mulligan. I believe we're on the play. Yeah, we're on the play. This hand's better. I'll keep this. Depending on like what my opponent was doing, I might want Hexcatcher over Trickster. I have no idea in this case, but we are gonna keep Hexcatcher, Trickster in the blind on the play. I'm on the play, so I'll put my faith in Hexcatcher. If we were on the draw, I'd put my faith in Trickster because we are likely trying to catch up against our opponent. Play Violent Pass. Plains. Maybe this is Boros Energy. There's also Death and Taxes deck that made a top 8 somewhere. Flare of Denial. Well, I would like to curve out. Thank you very much. What risk is there? I'm just going to pass. I'm just going to pass and play Hexcatcher at end of turn. I don't know exactly what I'm up against. I mean, it could still be Control for all I know. Lorien Revealed. It looks like it is Control, which means we might have to play a little bit more patiently. Found a Steam Vents. Tune the Narrative, resolves. So the most important thing you have to remember about these new Jeskai control decks is that because of the energy, there's now like an instant sweeper. It's like a white 2 generic and like pay X energy, destroy all creatures, artifacts, or blah 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 with X, like with energy, like with mana costs less than or equal to the amount of energy that you've used. So that's why they play with like Tune the Narrative to charge up that synergy. Solid. What the hell? Are they like trying to guarantee? Okay, I mean, sure. You got, bub. Oh, do you have Ephemerate? Well, I mean, if this would be the worst Ephemerate in the world. There has to be something like Teferi Time Raveler coming next turn, or a million Teferi. Okay, the only way I can interpret Solitude pitching Teferi Time Raveler is that there's a lot of Teferi Time Ravelers on the way in the future. A lot of them. So far, we are in Svelun. We're going to have to trust because if Teferi is played here, I am going to... Oh, which it is not. Oh, I guess there's a bunch of One Rings? There's a bunch of One Rings in our future? This is crazy. They always hold on to the fetch. Like, if I go to file on 3, I mean, you're going to like, eat a Tidebinder, I swear. Okay, well, there's no reason to hold up this mana, so I'll just play Lord of Atlantis here. You can counter this? If you steal it with that blue-red, that new blue-red counter, I don't mind that. By all means, you may do that. Oh, you have actual counter spell. Alright, it's countered. Fine. You know what? That's just fine with me. If they play the One Ring, I will probably Flare of Denial. Maybe not. What's going to happen here? Oh, Flage. I actually don't care as much about this card. At least not with a bunch of Sveloons in my hand. But you go to 8 light. Wait, I'm not sacrificing anything. This sounds ridiculous. We're just going to trust in Sveloon. So they just need one more red mana source. But if we get one more land, we can just Flare of Denial the thing. And we have 2 Sveloons. We got Sveloon into backup Sveloon. I like our position here. By the way, Merfolk still good in 2024 versus Control. That matchup has not changed. Always yield, always no. I do not have Subtlety in my main deck. Russian Dockhand is a bit stinky. Okay, come on. Give me a land. Okay, we got a land. That's good. So Flage is cast next turn. We can at least hard counter it. The Flage, or sorry, Phage? Phage? No, it's Flage. This card is brutal. I don't understand why everyone, like, was making a mockery of that card. Spoiler season. They're like, there's no good Boros deck. Like, people just make one. Like, there was no Simic deck when Uro was spoiled. And then Uro just took over the metagame. I have nothing to do. I'll just attack. I have no idea what's in our opponent's hand, but Galvanic Discharge. We have another Sveloon, so we can afford to, like, lose one Sveloon. Okay, we'll put a Dockhand in play. Just in case. I don't know. Actually, Dockhand is pretty good here. I mean, if they fail to play Phage this turn, then we just go, what's it called? Like, we could keep harassing the red mana over and over and over again, because it requires double red, double white to cast. So I mean, that's a hefty cost. Cards like Harbinger of the Seas, any Spreading Seas effects are all strong versus this card. How many cards you can get rid of? 5. Not enough, in my opinion. I wish the graveyard was a little bit more empty. Definitely Flare. So 2 more cards need to hit the graveyard. And fortunately, we've got the backup Sveloon. Draw a donut. This is not the time to be drawing donuts. Okay, so they've got 3 cards. They would need to cantrip this turn, then cantrip again into Phage. So I think I'm not even going to tap down lands. Let's go in for an attack with Dockhand, and we're going to go for the throat. The Sveloon bug still happens in 2024. This is actually a great spot for Sink into Stupor, like against Phage. That would be, wouldn't say it's brilliant, but I mean, it would eat up a few turns of theirs. Narset. Can Narset wheel me? You wouldn't do that to me, would you, Borrow? Would you? It's so frustrating when they do that, because they don't even have many, like, what is it called? Days Undoing. They've got like 1 Days Undoing in their deck. So when you get Days Undoing with Narset, understand, like, that was such a rare phenomenon. Incredibly rare. Like, it happens, but it's so situational. What do they do with their extra Days Undoing when they have it? Lorien Revealed. Feeling nothing now. Oh, this Narset is a pain. I can't draw more than 1 card each turn. That thing's gotta die. Thundering Falls hits the battlefield. Oh, great tech. Very, very good tech. And they have enough red sources and white sources no matter what I tap down with Dockhand. So we need a counter spell for the Phage coming back, which is not... That's great. Play Sveloon, draw 3 lands. Love it. Love my life. Definitely attack Narset. Definitely, I guess, attack our opponents. Your opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn. Unfortunately, this is the same turn. I guess I'll just keep a bunch of cards in hand just to bluff something. Narset down. Now, Phage can't kill Sveloon, but I mean... I don't want my opponent to be lightning helixing every turn. I mean, that's like 9 damage like Kroxa. Except it's worse. It's stronger than Kroxa, because Kroxa couldn't even guarantee to deal that damage. It was only good if your opponent was empty-handed. Oh, that's interesting. Not playing Phage. So you have plan B, huh? You have another plan for me. Maybe Solitude? Yeah, happen to have Solitude, would you? You had plenty of... You could play for 3. Yeah, you had a lot of opportunity there. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, I don't have lethal even if I play Master of the Pearl Trident. So what's going on here? It has to be Solitude. Solitude, right? It's gotta be Solitude. Is there a counterspell here? This is 5, right? exile 5 other cards. Why didn't you go? I guess they didn't want to go for it because... Okay, whatever. I'm going to play... So you play Phage next turn. If you play Phage, that would be with double white, red, red. Still have counterspell mana up. Okay, we're going to play our Master of the Pearl Trident. It's probably going to eat a counterspell. But on the off chance that it doesn't... Oh, Subtlety. Very interesting. With the Evoke cost, there has to be a solid... What got exiled, by the way? Another Subtlety? That has to be... Okay, I think... I'm trying to think, how do we win from here? So, if there's Solitude, which I really feel... Oh, maybe it's Subtlety? No, but that doesn't make any sense. It has to be Solitude. And why would you wait so long? Oh, you could wait... You should have done it at my upkeep. Okay, just in case there's Phage, I'm going to keep the Master of the Pearl Trident on top. Okay, declare tax. Solitude? Like, I don't understand what this last card is. But if it was Solitude, like, upkeep is the best time to do it before I draw a card. Oh, I guess that makes some sense, but not really. Okay, so Phage comes out, shoots my Dockhand, I suppose. I get to attack for a good chunk of damage next turn. You go to opponent goes to 9. No, I get to only attack for 4 next turn. I needed my own answer to Phage. What is going on here? All that work for my opponent to play One Ring. Look, they might even draw a land here. Has to be not an... It can't be an island, though. Anything but an island. Actually, they can't kill my Dockhand now. Oh, no, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, if they played Phage, it wouldn't kill my Dockhand. So they drew a land. Very interesting play they had. The subtleties. They could hardcast it. No, they couldn't hardcast and play it at the same time. Okay, so now's the question. Oh, no, okay. Playing this is useless. It'll just be vulnerable to the Phage because my opponent has protection from everything right now. Otawara, also interesting. I get a discount with Sveloon. Upkeep, we're going to tax our opponent a little bit. Guess on the white mana. I guess I don't know what's the best mana to tax, to be honest. Okay, they're going to take 1 damage from the One Ring. It's going to be a close game. So you Phage, gain 3. I play Master, take 4. I can bounce the Phage with Otawara. Or actually, if they target my Dockhound, I can bounce the Dockhand and they don't gain life. That's interesting. So they can only guarantee life gain. They must hard think I have like I've had a bunch of cards in my... So you might be thinking, why haven't they played Phage? Why haven't they played Phage? Well, I've had like 2 unknown cards in my hand this entire game. And they just hard to think that I have Flare of Denial or something like that. Okay, so I think I'm going to win out of this no matter what. If you target me, I have an extra creature to attack with. You target the Dockhand, I'll bounce it with Otawara, and you don't get the life gain. If you don't get the life gain, I'm going to attack you for 4, and your One Ring kills you at your upkeep. And they go for the Dockhand, and they pay for the 1. And we will bounce Dockhand in response to get... So there's no life gain. Then I think about it, I guess playing the Master of the Pearl Trident was playable because they would probably try to kill the Master of the Pearl Trident, and then I bounce that, and then I have a few extra attackers on the board. Okay, you get the stick. You don't gain any life. It got countered. No! No! Shit! No. That was not part of the plan. Okay, well now we are dead. How can I... Okay, Trickster, I guess, can save me. That's the new plan. Trickster, this thing, Rains of Pores. I drew too many lands. How many lands did we draw? We have 6, 7, 8, 9 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We just needed like 2 more spell, like even 1 more spell probably would win this game. So now what do we do? I guess nothing, just we die. Opponent stabilizes. I can't play anything without our opponent like screwing me over with the Phage. Phage just attacks and kills it. They gain 3 life, they go to 6. Best I can do, still hope to draw Trickster. That helps. I just need to stall this life gain for 1 turn and then get in for a swing. This is game 1. What a hell of a game 1. It's like close. Not really, actually. Well, okay, so I'm going to take 3. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to take 3. And I can chump block with Dockhand. I think all my Tishana's Tidebinders are in the sideboard. So it doesn't help me. I'm playing to my outs, but we are losing for sure. Now, to some degree, I'm acting like I'm flooding out, and I did flood out. Okay, then we just die here. I'm acting like I flooded out, and we did flood out because so there's like about 25 mana sources in this deck, but 7 of them are Sink into Stupors and Mutavault. Oh, and Otawara, I guess. Oh, sorry, I counted that one too. 1, 2. 7, 8, 9, 10 mana sources, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so actually we definitely got flooded that game. All right, cards that we want. Spring Seas is like Well, let's see what happens. Okay, so first off, we're going to get rid of Dismember. We want a maximum counter spells. I'm definitely going to keep Harbinger of the Seas. These types of decks are pretty vulnerable. Like, if you want to beat Phage, you just play Harbinger of the Seas. They can't cast it from the graveyard. Not a fan of Dockhand because it doesn't do a lot of power for the amount of mana that it is. Okay, Tishana's Tidebinder is great. Subtlety is great. Cards do I get rid of? I'm not a huge fan of Trickster. So we'll bring in another Subtlety in place of that. I guess we can keep one Trickster. That should be fine. Oh, on the play, I don't like Force of Negation. Maybe we're going to get rid. Maybe we are going to bring in the Dockhand. On the play, not a fan of Force of Negation just because we're down a card. Okay, we'll bring in the Trickster then. I'll keep Flare Denial. It's just versatile enough, and hitting a Subtlety is just more important than anything, or even the Flage. So then I just think that being on the play, having the initiative... Actually, yeah, I think I like Dockhand a little bit better on the play. I like Force Negation a little bit better on the draw. Hand is fine. We'll keep. First few turns, we can tap out. Later few turns, we can hold up Hexcatcher and Tishana's Tidebinder. Tideshaper. Certainly looks nice versus the control decks. 1 mana, 2/2. It's the best we got going for us in the 1 mana slot for Merfolk. It's the best we got. Oh no, we're going to get a hit by a Galvanic Relay. Yeah. Prefer that did not happen. Yeah, the fact that Galvanic Discharge... Sorry, not Relay. I've been naming this wrong the entire time. Galvanic Discharge. The fact that Galvanic Discharge... Ooh, no. Don't go through your turn. That'd be terrible. Okay, we're going to tap out to play Lord of Atlantis and pass. The fact that this can kill Svelune is very upsetting. You know, I sort of depend on Lightning Bolt just being a Lightning Bolt, but this is like a super Lightning Bolt because you can save the charge counters for later. Ooh, Tideshaper. Okay, so we're going to attack for 2. Do I want to play Tideshaper? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. There's not a really good time to play Tideshaper. Like, it's now or never. If it gets eaten up by, like... It doesn't look like they have another removal spell, though. They would have played it already. If I don't draw a land next turn, then I have to play Tideshaper at sorcery speed anyway. But if they play, like, Teferi Time Raveler, that would also suck. Okay, so I'm just going to pass. Yeah, we can Tideshaper later. It's okay. What the hell does this mean? You get X energy. Oh, then they're going to do it for 2. Then you may pay any amount of energy, destroy each artifact, creature, mana value, whatever, or less. Okay, sure. Use up your energy. Oh, I thought it was instant. It's a sorcery? Significantly worse. Looks like we are going to play you Tideshaper after all. Yeah, I think we'll play Tideshaper here. Hit this multicolor land, I suppose. No! Hey, that was a misclick. All right, well, let's hope that we draw Harbinger of the Seas. That will make that not a misclick. That's the key. Just requires Harbinger of the Seas. The One Ring. Counter it. Do I want to sacrifice my own Hexcatcher? Attack for 3, attack for 2. Maybe not. Do you need that mana so badly? You can play Phage anyway. Okay, no, I don't want to sack the Hexcatcher. I'm going to sack the Tideshaper. No! There we go. I guess there's like another One Ring coming or something. Give me a land! Give me a land! Okay, thank God. Like, if I have these stupid cards stuck in my hand, this deck is useless. Although I wish I had my Tideshaper now, just to, like, peck in there for 2 damage at a time. But at least we can play a Hexcatcher. Something gonna die here. Subtlety. What if I Subtlety your Subtlety? I could Flare of Denial it. Yeah, it's Flare of Denial it. Screw you. Screw your Subtlety. Like, I'm losing a card anyway, but I don't want them to have a permanent on the battlefield. That'd be bad. That would be bad. Alright, we have our own Subtlety now. Real question is what to do with this Tishana's Tidebinder. We hit our opponent for 13. If they fetch here, am I supposed to counter this? They can't play Phage and buy it back. But this seems like so low value at this point. But it makes our Hexcatcher worth a little bit more. But it's so much better to hit like a fetch land on turn 3 when they fetch their turn 2 land. It's hard to tell what they're bottlenecked on anyway. Also, keeping them on 4 lands, I was about to just say, keeping them on 4 lands prevents them from playing Solitude for 5 mana. They feel like really... Whoa, they're getting rid of my Hexcatcher. That is very concerning. I guess the One Ring is coming. Yep. Yep. Oh, did not play it. Okay, I like my Svelune, so let's get a Svelune in play. Attacking is worthless. They have protection from everything. The fact that they pitched Solitude was like a big game for us. Huge game. It's 2 less Solitudes that are even in their deck. And we have 3 creatures available, because if they try to kill Svelune with, again, like a few Galvanic Relays, I guess. Or Galvanic Discharge? Is there even a card called Galvanic Relay? I don't even know. Another Solitude pitching Solitude. Unfortunately, my subtlety's in my hand. But there is a decent chance we can tempo our opponent out. It does require our opponent not having removal, and they're pitching. They have to have a hand of gas. Well, Flare of Denial would have been better last turn. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, attack for 3. Okay, no removal. So I guess they have a bunch of counter spells in hand. So they'll take 2 damage. If they tap out for anything, we can play Subtlety or Flare of Denial and hopefully just get in there with the Mutavault, Tidebinder, and then kill. They die to their own One Ring. They do die to their own One Ring a good chunk of the time in these matchups. Do they even have Solitudes left? Do they pitch all their Solitudes away? They did. There's no more Solitudes left. That's it. That's the end of the Solitudes. No. My plan is this ring kills you. That's the plan. Everything goes according to plan. Okay, now we're just going to attack for 5. Ooh. Does that help? Okay, I don't think they have removal. They might. Otherwise, I might want this Tashanda's Tidebinder. But I think it's just best. Attack for max damage. And the One Ring goes to their turn. And, well, I don't know how they save themselves. Oh, do they have to find an Ottawara or something and bounce their One Ring? Is that how it works? And then they replay the One Ring? But won't it remember? I think it remembers. Tune the narrative. Yeah, create whatever story you want. Something's happening. Okay, Ottawara. So does this save them? I don't think it does. I think it remembers. If I understand the rules correctly, yeah. It will remember the counters. Because it's still like the number of counters that it was at the time. The fact that the ring is not there anymore doesn't matter. Okay, now we're on the draw. Now forcing. You see how like how careful we needed to be on cards in that game? Okay, so on the draw, we do want Force of Negation, because we're going to have an extra card this game. Also on the draw, how do I want to change this? I don't want Dockhand. I don't want Trickster. The card is just weak. You are weak! You are 2/2 with Flash. Frankly, that's sort of okay, but it's not good enough in my opinion. I want 3/3 with Flash that can interact with Solitude. Why can't you be more like Solitude, huh? Pathetic. This hand's not good. It's not. It doesn't even have double blue. Well, I mean, it can have double blue if I play Sink into Stupor. This hand is not good. I go Mutavault, File, attack with Mutavault, slowly deploy creatures. I have no defense versus anything. Why can't I keep like regular 7-card hands? I'm like mulliganing so much. My kingdom to keep a 7-card hand. Did my opponent keep 7? They did. But I tell you what we have to do. We have to believe in the heart of the cards. That's what we have to do around here. The heart of the cards. They don't even seem to have any... Oh, God. The heart of the cards is failing me. Immediately failing me. This opponent's going to fetch with their Scalding Tarn into a Meticulous Archive. It has definitely crossed my mind to play with fetch lands to get the blue-black one. The blue-black land. Rogrin Triome. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot the Wrath the Skies hits Aether Vial. We should actually shave Aether Vial in this matchup. Didn't even think about that. This Cavern Souls really sucks because, like, it doesn't help me cast my Sink into Stupor. Okay, so we're going to still activate Mutavault and attack as planned. Like, what am I supposed to do? Hard cast Sink into... So, like, I like Sink into Stupor. The opponent, especially in this matchup, you know, if you can, like, file in, flash, get a steady amount of damage in, it's quite decent. This can be Wrath the Skies or Teferi. Okay, Narset is doable because we can kill Narset immediately. Or attempt to, at least. Can't get Solitudes with this. Just letting you know. Gets a Wrath the Skies. You're only going to get one... It only has 1 energy, right? It's a 1 energy thing. Another Sink into Stupor. Okay, Merfolk. Going to attempt to kill this Narset. Even though my Skies are about to get Wrathed. It's okay. They might not Wrath the Skies. They might just play with a One Ring or something. Something else. This hand did not panic. Look, I was citing you out. You're the only one left in my deck. You're the only one. Oh god, shocking. Okay, this better be the One Ring instead of Phage. Or sorry, Flage. No! No! Tap more! Okay, good. I like it when you tap more. Wrath for 2. That's... You get X energy? Oh, okay. So I lose those 2. Not bad. Not bad, opponent. That was a clean 2 for 1 from your perspective. Pay 3 life? Yes. And I guess... everything's bad. Guess attack for 2. We're not really in a position to beat Solitude or anything. Okay. 1 ring's 1 ring. See, this is where we're supposed to have Tashanda's Tidebinder to come save us. Probably what's going to happen is I'm going to play... Probably just hard cast a Lord of Atlantis and then hold up other interaction. Would you still have Okay, yeah, I'm gonna play this Lord. We'll hold up Sink into Stupor and Merfolk Trickster. Maybe this is not correct. Maybe I should just hold up both Sink into Stupor and Trickster, because like this is just walking into some sort of removal spell of some sort, for sure. There's no way this doesn't get eaten up by a removal spell. Our opponent's pretty low on life. I don't no idea what was eating them. I guess that was that turn 2 Mutavault. Turn 2 Mutavault, too strong. I'm hoping they hard cast a whole Solitude. I would love that. Just hard cast Solitude. Just do it. These Sink into Stupors might actually show their strength. Apparently not here, though. Are they playing Subtlety? I guess I could have done nothing. Take my turn. Well, they have counters. That is frustrating. I hate getting eaten up, especially since I ate up used both those Cavernous Souls. That's awful. But I needed the double blue for the Sink. That's why I said, like, I needed the double blue for Sink into Stupor. We only have 2 Cavernous Souls in this deck. Things are just not going our way in this game. We're literally drawing the absolute bottom half of everything. So I'll tell you what our plan is, and it's not a bad plan. They're going to try to cast... They're going to get greedy with this One Ring. They're going to take a ton of damage, and they're going to try to cast another One Ring to get out of this conundrum. And that's when we play Sink into Stupor twice, and then hopefully they just die to their own One Ring. So things are not so bleak yet. And by the way, they wasted one of their counter spells on this Merfolk Trickster. They, of course, could have more. Tap out. Tap out, tap out, tap out, tap out big, tap out big. Okay, we have to do something about this. So we can't play these Stupor cards at all. And also they can bounce the One Ring. That also bounces the One Ring. Can't let that happen around here. Hopefully they don't have another land. That also works. The life total is too high. I attack for 4, put them to 4. They take 3 damage from One Ring. Oh, they can just do this again. Okay, Teferi's back. And maybe better than ever. I'm so concerned what they're going to discard. Hall of Storm Giants is fine, I guess. I can attack them for 2. Teferi for 2. Again, we flooded out. But I kept a pretty land-heavy hand. Or I attack them for 4. But I can't deal with the One Ring anyway. The problem with attacking for 2 and then splitting the damage if there's Solitude eating up one of my Mutavaults, like, I wouldn't like that. But maybe that doesn't, like, maybe I'm just lost from there. Maybe it just doesn't matter. I just have to hope my opponent doesn't have Solitude in hand. We just got to maximize our chances. Because this game is going to spiral out of control super fast. There might even be 2 Solitudes in hand. Okay, there's 1. I'll let the first one resolve. Because I have no choice. And I guess we're going after the Teferi. Odds of winning? Pew! That Teferi was not supposed to resolve. That Teferi was not supposed to resolve. Okay, I guess we're just going to Sink into Stupor this. We'll get in for an extra 2 damage. I mean, like, if we can draw maybe Tashana's Tidebinder, that would help. Like, that would be a great clutch card to find at this point. Oh, they have Minamo. They can draw, like, even more millions of cards. Well, well, well! That is an interesting turn of events. Assuming our opponent doesn't have removal. Let's get in for the last 2 damage I need to with this Mutavault. Because I'm not going to need it after that. Alright. I gotta hope. No removal. No subtlety. No anything, really. Solitude is gone, at least. Pitching, Wrath the Skies. It resolved. It resolved! There's a chance. The Ottawa is on the battlefield. So even if the One Ring resolves, it's not the end of the world. Okay, One Ring will definitely resolve. I know, I cannot attack with this Harbinger of the Seas. I didn't think that this was the card that was going to bring us back. Now our opponent is acting. They were like acting very confidently a little while ago. It's like, okay, finally, we stabilized. We got the situation under control. Now they're in panic mode. Now it's not over yet because they have tons of Solitudes in their deck. We got the Sveloon, though. The Sveloon get to resolve. Subtlety? Okay. That's fair. My life total is way higher than yours. We'll definitely keep it on top. Maybe we're still not favored to win this one. What are the odds that they are bricking on their Solitudes for who knows how long? They have to brick on Solitude. Oh, well, also, it's the life thing. Like, the life can eat them up. So they have, like, 2 more turns. They can go, like, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7 cards deep. 7 cards deep to find Solitude. Solitude or bust. Or One Rings, I guess. Okay. Do you know what? I miscalculated. The One Ring found another One Ring. Oh, that's Solitude. A little excited. Got a little confidence. A little pep in its step. Knowing that the opponent, or knowing that the master is completely invincible thanks to the One Ring. Okay, can it resolve now? Or you have a counter spell? Or do you have another Subtlety? Okay, it resolves. Excellent. No taxis, because it's worthless. It is worthless to me at the moment. Now, I should say, I've won a lot of games against control like this, where it just looks like it's impossible. Ah, come on. Ah, they gave me some hope. They gave me some hope, and then they took it away. They took it away. Solitude, exiling another Wrath the Skies. Maybe they had it under control the entire time. Well, but there's still that One Ring sitting on the battlefield. Do you want to draw any cards off of it? Okay, now it feels like I'm dead. Now it feels like I'm dead. And they're not. It looks like they also don't want to take any chances. They're not even going to draw off the One Ring. They're like, okay, do you know what? It's a 3/3 subtlety and a One Ring versus nothing. The hell is this? Sunset Revelry. Opponent has more life than you. You gain 4 life. But you don't have more creatures than me. You only gain 4 life. Pathetic. Wow, so aggressive with your subtlety. We still have a Mutavault. And our opponent's pretty empty-handed. This can still turn on a dime if we draw the right card. Like, we do need to top deck gas. It's not exactly gas. All right. You want to race? Okay, we racing then. We racing. I'm going to attack first, just in case if I get ambushed by subtlety, then my Tide Shaper can resolve comfortably, I want to say. And just in case my opponent has any fancy ideas. They have as much mana as they could possibly want, but just in case they get any ideas, we're going to Tide Shaper this Manamo, because they could like draw a bunch of cards off the One Ring. Don't you dare, opponents. Don't you dare. You're not on my watch. Okay, so it appears that, I mean, I don't know if they don't have removal. They can be like careful with the removal to make sure that they save it for a Lord and keep their subtlety back. They're under no obligation to, if they have like, say, Galvanic Discharge? Galvanic Discharge. Oh, now they're drawn. They had to go back to that tit. They had to go back to that tit. Another One Ring. Well, that's why. Okay, they drew a One Ring. That makes a lot of sense. They have so many cards left in their deck. So many cards. 27. Unbelievable. I'm envious. Again, Salty's getting really excited. Very, very excited. Well, that's great. If we can live to see the next turn. We might win on time. Very unlikely. 12 life is not hard to kill. Not hard to get through in like 2 minutes, 35 seconds. Did you want to untap a legendary? Not today. Another 4 life. So weird I have more life than the opponent. Holy crap. They're like, they don't care. They're attacking me for 3. I'm attacking them for 4. What does that mean? It can mean only one thing. Solitude. It can only mean one thing. Do I have a choice? What if we just attack for 4 and then play the Lord next turn? We play the big card next turn. I can get blown out so many ways here. Subtlety. Solitude. It is subtlety. Okay, that's not bad though, because that means I can play my Tide Shaper and my Master of the Pearl Trident pretty freely. Although maybe I'm dead soon. No, it puts me in a position to win. Okay, so we're going to play our Tide Shaper. I guess hit the Triome or something. And we'll play our Lord. And if we top deck a Lord, we win. It has to be an Island Walk Lord, though. Get this in play underneath Counterspell. Well, not Counterspells. Underneath... I do need the creature in play, though. Fetching? A little bit dangerous of a move, don't you think? Oh, they're going to Surveil. They're going to go for it. Put it on bottom. Put it in the graveyard. It's useless. It was useless. Days Undoing. Ha! Okay, they're going to draw a card. They're going to draw a lot of cards, though. Oh, they feel the pressure. Pressure's on. They go to 7, which is fair. It's fine. They find Flage, I'm dead. There's a lot of ways to lose this game. It's going to be over in 2 turns, though, that's for sure. This is it. This is it. They're still twiddling their thumbs. Ah. Let's see, what are they going to go after? Me or Master of the Pearl Trident? They went after Master of the Pearl Trident. All right, the game goes on, though not really. Can they recast this? White. They actually can't. Or maybe they can. I got red, white, red. No, I took off this red source. Okay, they're going to attack for 6. They're going to attack for 3. Now I need that 1 Trickster left in my deck. Now what do I want? Harbinger of the Seas? I don't know what I even want. I can't think of a way this game plays out where I win. Why are they fetching? What was the point of that? They're going to take 2, go to 7. Time I need my deck to matter the most. You failed me, deck. You just completely failed me. Man, I needed something to slow this game down a little bit more. Well, there's a million ways that we lose now. They cast Phage. They attack with their subtleties. All those things work. Come on, just win, opponent. You have like 10 seconds left. You have 8 seconds left. Attack my... Oh my god. They're going to time out over this. Opponent. Okay, I'm going to concede before they do it. There we go. I'm not going to let you lose like that. That's okay. You deserve the victory. And I think you got it in anyway with 2 seconds left. All right. Well, running pretty bad is all I can describe this day today. But anyway, that was round 4. It's going on round 5. These are long rounds. We lost the die roll. I don't really like this hand on the draw if I don't know what I'm up against. We don't even have it. We have nothing to do on turn 1. We have no curve. We're clogged on 2 drops. I'm just going to mulligan. It's basically the same thing. At least it's a little bit more interactive. We'll keep, because I can pass the turn on turn 2. I'll get rid of one Lord because I want to guarantee that we curve into our Harbinger of the Seas. Forest Pass, probably Tron. Mutavault is basically an island in any matchup with Harbinger of the Seas because it's just going to turn into an island. Is this Hardened Scales? I don't know what we're up against. I think I remember some deck is playing this. Activate only if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. Alright. I guess I have to prevent that from happening now, don't I? Let's start off with Trickster. Doing the one thing it's good at. Tapping mana dorks down. This is a hell of a mana dork. It's a 1/4. Pretty insane if you ask me. I guess I'm just going to try to play Harbinger of the Seas. Hopefully they don't have a 4-power creature at this point. So activate only if a creature... Activate only if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. Yeah, Harbinger. And then we can go Double Lord next turn. And then, I don't know, try to make use of this turn. I've never played against this deck before, so I don't know what to expect. So, I mean, I look at Harbinger of the Seas basically like a Spreading Seas. But I gotta play it on... I have to play it now first. They still have access to a lot of green mana. A lot of green mana. This still taps for 1 green. Maybe it's not tapping for 4, but it's tapping for 1. This still taps for a green. Millen... You're another Eldrazi deck. Got an Eldrazi Temple. Alright, so this actually is going to work out. Maybe we're going to get our revenge on Eldrazi. It taps 4 mana for a Sowing Miko Spawn. They can look for a land. What land are they going to get? A Wastes? I guess Wastes works. I guess the most concerning thing is they could like ramp into an... Well, they probably don't play All is Dust because they would eat up their own cards. That would not be good. So we'll just Double Lord here, attack for a bunch. Nothing else to do with this turn anyway. Then on our turn, maybe bounce something with Sink into Stupor. Alright, opponent, do your worst. If you can even do that. Because a lot of the most dangerous cards require double wastes. And because this deck is actually playing green cards, I don't know if this deck is playing All is Dust. Yeah, they just resign. So, Dismember good. Subtlety good. I think Tishana's Tidebinder good, but I'm not sure. Harbinger probably good. Spreading Seas may be good. Maybe this is overkill if it's not literally Tron. Dockhand weak. Actually, I don't really love Trickster, even though it sort of worked in that game. I don't know what to counter with these things, so I just will prefer not counter anything at all. I guess I'll keep Flare of Denial. But although I think this is like a board presence matchup, and I don't know how good Flare of Denial is in that case. But they also tap out a lot. There's some... Like, Flare of Denial is not going to be good in any matchup where board presence matters. This is like one of those matchups. On the other hand, they've got a lot of expensive spells they're likely going to be tapping out for. So if we sack a 1 mana card for their 3 or 4 or 5 mana card, maybe that's a fair deal. We have... It's not a 1-lander on the draw. It is actually a 3-lander thanks to the Sink into Stupors. So that's fine. Which we keep drawing more lands. But actually these islands are fine because then we can just consider this like a bounce spell. It'd be better on the play than the draw, but whatever. Thought not. Bon appetit. So because we have Harbinger of the Tides in our hand, it makes it awkward for them to attack with Thought Not Seer. We can bounce it, draw a card, hopefully empty our hand, and or I mean at least, you know, clog up their hand. They took the Sphaloon. Perfectly reasonable. Now this just looks very similar to like the Eldrazi Tron game that we had earlier. Well, okay, so I drew that. I would rather play that than the Lord of Atlantis. It's so much better. You're now on 3 mana. How do you feel? 3 mana on turn... Sorry, 5 mana on turn 3. You dare attack into me when I have Harbinger of the Tides in hand. What disrespect. The disrespect. Okay, we'll play Mute. I think I'm just going to attack for 2. I'm going to hold up the Sink into Stupor here. I guess they have a bunch of green cards in hand. Like, what are they waiting for here? You want to exile target creature, target player scries X and draws a card. That's insane value. I mean, that's just borderline ridiculous. I could Sink it to Stupor, but it doesn't prevent anything in the long run. They could just do it again on their turn. Is that fine? Am I fine with that? They attack. I bounce it with Harbinger. Maybe I'm okay with that. If this is going to, like, eat up their turn next turn. Like, if they have to tap out to play that card again, I think I'm okay with that exchange. And then we can bounce the Thought Not Seer if they attack. If they don't attack, I'll just play Lord of Atlantis. And then maybe just Sink into Stupor the Thought Not Seer on my turn. Well, I'll figure it out. Probably their best line is to not attack. These insane Eldrazi. They really had to... They gave so many cards to this Eldrazi deck. And they gave, like, the Merfolk players, like, 3 cards. You know, the Eldrazi deck is unrecognizable. Right, our opponent attacks. We'll take 4. I don't think the attack is good, to be honest. I just don't think it's a very good attack. Because, I mean, they know I have Harbinger in my hands. my hand. So all I have to do is bounce it and draw a card. I mean, unless I have another Thought Knot, then that makes some sense. Because the thing is, if they have Thought Knot, okay, they're just going to do this for 2. I think they went all in last time. Let's see what we draw. I don't even know what I have to draw here, but it's a free roll. Is it a free roll? Maybe it's not a free roll. This is their second main. Oh shoot, I screwed up. They have a land drop to make. I screwed that up. I'm still going to bounce it to try to draw a card. I don't know why. I thought this was the end step. This is terrible. Okay, so Eldrazi Temple is free, and they could potentially play another Soul Land, replay Thought Knots here, and take my damn Lord out of my hand. Okay, good. It didn't happen. Now we can just put everything on the battlefield and swing. I mean, I guess I could play, or there's another way of playing this where... No, this Sink into Stupor is like losing a lot of value. Pay 3 life, yes. Okay, I will play 1 Lord, and then we'll attack for 6. Should I attack for 8? I'm just fearful a little bit of All Is Dust. But they didn't play a land on turn 4. They play with green cards. No, okay, we're going to send it. I don't usually do this. But, like, Thought Knot Seer is coming next turn no matter what. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it won't. But if Thought Knot Seer is coming around next turn, then I have to put the Master of the Pearl Trident in play anyway. Here's Thought Knot Seer again. You can take my Ether Vial. And I think you're just dead. Because even if you have Dismember to eat a Lord, you go to 6 and you can't prevent me from dealing at least 6 damage to you. Take the Vial up to 3 just in case we draw a 3-drop. We didn't, but that's more than good enough. We just send the team. Send the clowns. This match was a lot faster than my other matches. And 10 damage. 10 Roonies. Well, that league was terrible. That's all I'm going to say about that. That was not we did not run well. I can't... the matchup's fine. Yeah, the matchups were good, actually. Aside from the... We didn't see Scam. The Prowess matchup was bad. I think I'm fine with everything else. I'm just not fine with our luck. That's all. But anyway, I'm not 100% certain about anything in this list. Nothing. This is probably what I'm playing at NRGSeries St. Louis. The only difference, I could put Subtlety in the main over Force Negation, but Force Negation just looks so good versus so many decks. I mean, alternatively, I could put Subtlety in the main over Flare of Denial. I should look at the top decks and see if that's what I should do. Flare of Denial is worse versus Scam versus... I think it's worse versus Yawgmoth. It might not. Although Flare of Denial is better against Ruby Storm. I'll have to calculate it. They're close. They're very close. I just like how we got this Sink into Stupor, which just adds so many blue lands to our deck, and we're just not maximizing it with Subtlety and Force Negation. That is such good synergy. Flare of Denial does not have that synergy. It is just an overall good card. Like, I have countered a lot of creatures with this where I could not with Force of Negation. So it's not a bad card. I'm still definitely going to be playing it. Definitely going to be in the 75 in some, probably going to be in the 75 in some capacity in some numbers. All right, everyone, hit the thumbs up button, all that other good stuff. This has been Nikachu, Merfolk Master, playing Modern Merfolk in, of course, the format Modern.